Next speaker is Paul Seal.
Thank you, Mayor Fort and Council. I have 2 points to make. I'm speaking on the bridge issue again as well. Some months ago, I stood before you here and I had a fairly simple request. I suggested that on a matter of this importance, the biggest ever decision, or financial decision ever made by this council in this city, that we shouldn't have the discussions, or you shouldn't have the discussions when we have to come to a meeting that we did earlier. We had to stay at a meeting until after midnight. We shouldn't have anything on the agenda that's a late add to the agenda when we're talking about the big issue. It should be sufficiently advertised online on the City of Victoria website so that the media can pick it up and let us know. There's been lots of talk by this council, both in council chambers here and in the media, about this process being the most open and the most open process they've ever seen. So I'm a little shocked to learn myself, and I follow this closer than I would think most in the city. So I'm a little shocked to find out that there was a governance and priorities committee meeting last week where a presentation was made to council, and it was not advertised in advance. It was not on the city's website. It was a late add to the agenda, and I realize we don't get a chance to speak at those meetings, but we do get a chance to attend and hear what questions council brings to staff that brings the presentation forward. So again, there's nothing in the media, of course, because it came as a surprise to me. I heard about it that day. I suggest that most people in the city didn't find out about it until the following day when they read it in the newspaper. And quite frankly, by then, 3/4 of the bulk of the article, of Bill Cleverly's article, was about comments by Councillor Young, talking about the same things that I'm talking about here today. I even checked JohnsonStreetBridge.com to make sure I hadn't missed anything. They had an update back on March 9th. They did update on May 27th about the poll results, and then they had nothing about the meeting on the 3rd. They had no other notes at all until the 7th, which basically had the project timeline that you talked about on the 3rd. So I'm asking, so my first point is I'm asking once again that on a subject of this magnitude, late adds to the agenda, I don't think it's fair. I don't think it's fair to the public. So I'm just reiterating what I asked several months ago, the same as I am tonight. The second point, maybe it crossed a bit of what Mr. Crockford says. So you have a special meeting this coming Monday, June 14th. I'm not sure if that's an open meeting similar to a governance and priorities committee meeting, but I presume it hasn't been advertised either. If it is, unless there's something we're going to appear in the newspapers tomorrow, then we've missed deadlines for being advertised before that meeting on Monday. And then looking at the Johnson Street Bridge project timeline, which was posted on JohnsonStreetBridge.com on the 7th. It does say that you're having that special meeting on Monday, which you'll be presenting technical information, and then you have potential decisions to make on the 17th. So I presume that the public won't hear about that meeting until the 15th, if it's covered in the newspapers. And you'll be making some decisions which could include talk of the amount of seismic, the level of seismic reinforcements being done either on refurbished place, whether there's a rail component. Those are important decisions that you make just 2 days after receiving the technical information, which staff has indicated that perhaps the public won't even see for a few days, certainly online. So I think for you to have a special meeting on Monday that is not advertised, note that date, the June 14th, is not in the media at all. For you to have that meeting on Monday and for you to make decisions on Thursday, that doesn't make sense to me. The timeline just doesn't make sense to me that there's no public, no chance for the public to see things, write some letters, maybe not speak as I am tonight, but have some input, some degree of input before we make decisions on the 17th. I mean, if you're deciding on the 17th whether we're having a rail on the bridge, that's give or take a $15 million decision, and we will have either no access to the technical information, or we'll have it 1 or 2 days before then. So I ask you to take a second look at the Johnson Street Bridge project timeline, and particularly take a look carefully at what you're deciding on June 7th.
Thank you, Mr. Sid. Next speaker, please.
Next speaker is Anthony Matthews.